Hello everyone, welcome back to the Midwest region of the United States of America in our modded series. Welcome back. So today we are sitting right here in Wichita. We're going to try to start another project today. The last project that we did was pretty hefty. We're going to do a little bit of a review of how everything's gone since then. We're just going to keep an eye out for things, but let's see how all our lines are doing. Nothing's probably changed from last episode. Our boat still doesn't make us any money. Everything else here does make us money. So really we're just going to dive into a lot of the management today. Our loans are being paid off very easily. Simple as that. We're probably not going to have any loans soon. I want to see how our headquarters are doing. I want it to upgrade, but it just hasn't lately, which is really unfortunate because it should look a lot nicer. So Huntsville is getting their construction material. I think we are good with that. How is the Huntsville line doing? Huntsville-Wichita line is starting to kind of catch up. If you recall from last episode, it was a whole entire mess. Burbank, let's connect you to Irving. Here, we're just going to do this very quickly. We're going to connect you to Irving because just why not? Connect you to Irving and then we can connect Cambridge up. And then somehow maybe we get Cambridge over to Cleveland. Really don't know how that's going to work. But let's get you connected to Irving first. We just fixed up the station a little bit and it's... You know, before the 1900s, everything just doesn't look that pretty. Everything's very gray, which is kind of unfortunate. So hopefully things will look prettier out in the future. And it's going to be very gray since we're just in the Midwest. But over here in Irving, I wanted to connect up later to Cambridge. So maybe we get in a nice little station like this. Maybe we just do it like this. Let's see where our contour lines are at. Okay, it's not going to be too bad. I think we just put it like right here. So I'm going to connect up these roads. There we go. And then we're going to put our not terminal station, our regular train station here. Let's put in 2 tracks because why not? Because we'll have to add in the second one later. And then we're just going to connect this up real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so we just put in a very easy, simple line. You can just see it stretch up there. I wasn't going to do a speed build for that one. It just wasn't going to be entertaining. It's just a simple line. So, I mean, like, all I have to do is line up the contour lines. I'm going to just explain a little bit of the process. So usually how I do it is I try to keep it relatively flat so the train doesn't have to climb and dip down and climb a lot of the time because it becomes really inefficient. So I try to keep it as flat as possible. If we look here, it is a 9.1 yards in from sea level or whatever you want to say it, but that's the height. And then over here where we had our track last, it was, I think it stopped right here or something like that, and that's 9.6. So I mean, like, it does go up and down in a few parts just because the roads get in the way and stuff like that, but we try to keep it relatively flat and we try not to dip below like the 9 yards and go above 10. So that's a little bit of the thought process. But let's add in our train depot. We're just going to add it in right here because we don't have one for Burbank, and then we have Irving, and then we have Cambridge down here. So we just don't want to add it to every city just because they have monthly costs. I'm actually probably just going to do that because we're going to have to connect it to the other one. And we'll just have a transfer track right there. Very simple, very easy. We're going to add in a bus route as well, so we're going to do that right now. Okay, so this is the thing. Our train station is a little far away. I'm actually going to put in a bus tram station, or whatever you really want to call it. We're going to put in a bus station. I think we're going to add it right here. And I don't really like the view that this is on right now because everything's so white. But we have, we're going to have that. We may have a clockwise and a counterclockwise line. So a line that goes one way around and a line that goes the other way around, if that makes sense. I'll show you here in a second. But we want to hit the residential area, which is going to be right here. And we want to hit the commercial industry, which is up here. Then we'll add some of the work places right here. I think it reaches over just enough. Then what we do is we add in the bus stations on the other side of the road as well. So therefore we can get a line going both ways. I've done this with a few others, but I've never really explained the thinking a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of go over that briefly. So like right here we have the pink line, and that's going to go counterclockwise around in a circle. And then we have this one that goes the other way around. Why does it turn around up there? That's really weird. I don't like how that worked. So that's really weird. I never had the game actually do that before, where it's just turned around right in the middle. So I guess we're gonna add in a waypoint so our buses don't get confused. We're gonna add you right there, and then have you stop there. All right, that makes more sense. And then I just added the Irving and Burbank line. So we will have them move back and forth. The only thing is we do have them going into one station right now, so we're going to change that. And I think what I'm going to do is make this train go on the other side so they don't have to cross over each other, and just to make life plenty more easier. Although, excuse me? Uh-oh, I confused my train. What happened to my train? Oh my god, it's inside each other! Alright, let's fix you because you're obviously confused. Should probably not have done that when you were right there. Actually, we're just gonna have them cross over each other for now until we end up renovating it in the future. So we'll just do that. Alright, I fixed it. Okay. That was a close one. Now let's just add in our train. Very simple train. We do have this 10-wheeler now, which goes a pretty hefty amount faster than the Mogul. And it does have better horsepower. I'm going to stick with the Mogul for now, because it really doesn't matter. I don't need to spend that extra money on a 10-wheeler right now. It's just not necessary, especially for a city that we're just starting up. Add that to our Irving Pink line. And now we got to get the bus line going, so I may just pull out another quick loan because I don't feel like waiting much longer. And I forgot to add in our wonderful little depot. We're going to buy 4 of these guys and add 2 on each line. Simple as that, and now we have the city set up. So let's see how this does. Alright, so while we are letting our little Burbank and Irving line going, we're just going to let that run a little bit so it will hopefully earn money soon. However, I did forget that Cleveland does produce tools for our wonderful city, and we upgraded all these vehicles. I think they're all like the little steam vehicles now. Yeah, so the amount of money that we make on that is a lot greater than it used to be, but we didn't upgrade our train for it. So if we look at this, we're only transporting 66% of what we could be doing, and we're not even shipping as much. And yeah, there's a lot of tools waiting. So we're actually going to upgrade this line quite a bit, and it's a good timing because as it is, our condition of the vehicle is getting to a stage of being bad. So let's go ahead and we're gonna autosave, I guess. So we're autosaving, there we go, and we're gonna manage the vehicle. Let's see what we come up with. So right now of the train, I think it is a 48 capacity, which means we would be adding on, I think, 1 extra cart. What if we added on another one? It's gonna be a long train. $4 million train, the 10-wheeler. I think it can handle it. It's a mediocre level once you hit, I think, a capacity of 63, which is what, like 9 cars or something ridiculous? 9 cars. Alright, so I think that's what we're going to do, and it'll still transport tools, hopefully at a faster rate. Let's wait until we build up that money, and then we're going to trade it in, I guess. Okay, so we just finished trading in our train. I sat here for a hot minute just trying to bring in the money. I wasn't going to pull up more loans because I get really annoyed when I still have to keep paying off loans and then borrowing loans and paying off. So I just waited this time, but it was like a few minutes for me. But now we are in December of 1897, so my mic's in the way, so I'm looking like this. Anyway, we have, what, 2 more years now until we actually get, I think, the larger cart that fits 12 tools onto, I guess we get a new boat, 12 materials or 12 units onto the trains. As of right now, it's still 7. But this train is long, and I think it's gonna speed up a little bit. It's obviously pulling a lot, so really the speed doesn't do too much more. Does it increase a little bit over time? I think this thing's pulling so much it can't reach 62 miles. Oh, you know what it is? The carts. I didn't even think about that. The carts themselves can only go 31 miles an hour, so therefore it won't go 62 miles an hour. So that was a bad part of me planning ahead of time. So that is also one thing that we have to watch out for. So we may just fix that in the future. But I mean, like, it's pulling enough. Alright, so we're just sitting here letting things run a little bit. I think we are just about to pay off all our loans. There we go. As simple as can be. Huntsville and Rochester. Let's see, because we need to fix up this line a little bit. And Rochester is all the way down there. So we have how many people waiting here? 52 people waiting. And where's our train at? It's just pulling away from Rochester, which is getting very busy. So we're going to have to fix that up as well. Oh, that's more for Cleveland, Rochester. Okay. But we just picked up here. Did we fill it up? Yes, we did. This vehicle is getting very old. We're going to fix it now by adding the Mongol to it. And then we're going to add... We can add 3 carts to this, and it change the capacity by 6 or something like that, and it's going to be faster. We don't really need it to be anything else, like more special, so we're just going to leave it as that. We're going to build up our money, and we're also going to replace this line. So we just replaced that vehicle, but now it looks like our lines, Rochester Lime line, needs to add another vehicle at the very least, because actually this line makes a lot of money. Look at that. So I mean, like, I don't mind adding at least one more vehicle to it. We may add 2 because, yeah, we're gonna add 2. We're gonna add 2 more vehicles once we get out of debt, and we're gonna add them to the Rochester Lime line as well. And here we go, we add 2 more vehicles to our Rochester Lime line, and look at all these people dumping out just to go into a bus stop. It's gonna get crazy over here. Actually, I have a better idea. I really do have a better idea. We're gonna fix things up over here, and we're gonna fix it up the way that I want to fix it up. Which sounds very selfish, doesn't it? But we're gonna add in a tram. So let's add you, what, right here? Yeah, that's fine. We'll add it in like that. Then what we'll do is we'll add up a road that goes all the way up the Lime line. Let's get in a nice tram track. Goes all the way down, and it's gonna end up into our little boat area. Okay, we're gonna pause it. This thing is gonna get really, really ridiculous here. We're gonna take that out. I think we can just replace number... No, we can't replace number 1. Let's... Is that how we replace you? Ooh, it is. I just figured out how to replace it without, like, breaking the whole entire line. I think if we add 4 of these guys, or maybe 5, then it will work out very well. Actually, I'm just gonna add 5 because why not? Rochester Lime, and then I'm so sorry for the people that are actually in carts right now, but I'm really not. We're gonna actually delete every single car or stagecoach that we have here. Actually, I'm not gonna sell maybe 1 or 2 I'm not gonna sell one of them, and I'll explain why. Am I just gonna sell one of them? Actually, I'm gonna leave 2 open for now, because things are about to get complicated. So let's decide to sell them. Right now we have 2 stagecoaches. So if we actually look here, this line doesn't connect to these houses up here. So does this one not. And this one doesn't really get up here much. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up throwing in a little bus line. So we're going to add one. I don't know why it doesn't highlight all of them once again, but we're going to add one right there. And we're going to add one up here as well. And then we're going to create 2 new lines. Okay, so now we added 2 more lines. So we have one going from the one by our boat dock all the way up to these houses up here. Oop, I don't mean to keep switching lines and stuff like that. Please stop. But we also have another one by our train station down here. So that will work out just fine. So we left off with 2 vehicles that were still on our Lime line, or Green line, whatever we had in Rochester. And we're going to take one of each of those 2 vehicles and separate them into their own individual lines. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, there we go. We are now out of pause mode, and hopefully this should work out better. We only have 2 more vehicles left, and then they're going to go over to their own little individual areas and kind of just disperse, do whatever they need to do. Alright, looking at something else to fix. Actually, I think we are in December of 1899, if I'm reading it correctly. So I think we're just about to transition in the new year. So we're going to unlock something as I'm going to be speaking. Let's look back at Huntsville. Huntsville is very busy, especially with Wichita. Huntsville, Burbank, also busy. Huntsville, Rochester, also busy. So everything's just a little busy, a little bit everywhere. The Huntsville, Wichita one really needs some help. We remember last episode that we replaced the train, and I think we added quite a bit onto it too, didn't we? We have 5 carts on there, and it's still not doing enough. I am really thinking whether or not if we need to add 2 trains in between this line. So we're going to look into that. And thankfully, we now unlocked new things. We unlocked the Mac, we unlocked new boxcars, transportation, passenger car, and a new boat. Awesome. Now we are really moving into playing with new toys, and we'll probably be making a whole lot more money. We are out of debt. This is very good. Let's do one more thing before we end the episode. Irving Red Line needs some help because they have 34 people. So I'm gonna actually manage the vehicles. We're gonna actually bring in the new power, and we're gonna bring in new technology. I don't know what I'm saying. We're gonna bring in new technology and actually just replace both these lines with the new little buses that we have, which are the Macs. But as of right now, I think this is where we're going to end the episode. And I'm sorry we didn't get into any big projects this episode, but we'll get into it next episode, especially with all the money that we're bringing in and the new technology that we do have. So I thank you guys for watching this episode. If you do want to help support the channel, I encourage you to hit that like button. I would highly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things. And be sure to leave me some comments, suggestions, or concerns down below if you wish to share them. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.